Okay, I'm still having troubles with the audio of just recording from my computer. I don't know how to fix that. Anyways, writing tips with Rawr. Story titles. You're probably thinking, why does this need to have an extensive talk? Because I can tell if you put effort into it. Not everyone might not be able to, but your audience is not stupid. They can tell if you put effort into your story, and that includes the title. Your title could be the first impression of your story. They might not read the synopsis, they might not even see a cover, but if they hear or see your title, that could be a make or break deal for them. First of all, it is okay if you do not get it right away. You have a story idea, but you don't know what to call it. That's okay. That just means you need to know a little more about your story. So first, you can figure out what it's about. You can try to figure out what kind of genre do you want to go for. You can spitball ideas of what to call your story. You can bring out a thesaurus to find cool, fancy words that are attractive. But once you have that down, then you just might be able to figure out what you want to call your story. Because you want it to be a good title, right? One thing you could also do, and this is usually done with the horror genre, is you can refer to the monster or antagonist. But again, that's usually horror. Another thing you can do is, once you come up with your title, try it without this article. Take out the and see if it has the same vibe. Or maybe it's a little more broad and you want that. You want some mystery. Maybe it just might sound a little more cool. And it could make your story sound a little more unique. You want that. Unique is what will catch good readers, will catch your audience. Okay? Biggest thing, put in some effort, right? I need to breathe. But anyways, a thesaurus, that is my number one go-to. Spitballing ideas, that is my number one go-to. Okay? I actually did that for Cryptic Asunder. Because I knew that there was going to be some mystery, and I knew that it was going to be about a 16-year-old girl who is looking for her missing stepfather. I knew that's what I wanted in my story, and I knew it was going to be adventure. The stars helped me find these two words. Okay? And the biggest thing you do not want to do when finding a name for your story is to be generic. We do not want generic. Oh my goodness. Some of the biggest generic things, or things that just completely turn me off when I see a name for a story, I see the name for the story. One of the biggest things that will turn me off is when it starts with this article. Now, not always. You don't want to completely avoid using the in front of the name. It's just it feels kind of overused. It's starting to become generic. It's when I see every single title, it feels like you think you're important. You think your story is so important. It's the story, but it's not. It feels a little bloated to me, is what it is. And kind of prestigious, pretentious. But another thing you want to stay away from is the Captain Obvious title. At least that's what I call it. Because it could reveal too much, or it could reveal a trope or a prediction, and that could turn off your readers. That could turn away your audience from what is potentially a good story. You don't want to do that. You don't want to turn them off from the first impression that they get from your story. You don't want to do that. You don't also want to be too vague, because then, well, your audience can be wondering what genre. Like, maybe they're the kind of person who reads in a specific mood, or they like a specific genre. If they don't know what genre it is, how are they gonna know it's a good read, or if it's something that's their cup of tea, that's more to their liking? And it's also gonna mean there's like no hook, there's no like hint to the mystery, there's no appeal to it. If you don't have a hook, you don't have an audience. We want that hook. We want to reel them in with a very interesting title. And it can also lead to unintentionally lying to your audience. It does it's one thing, like, you don't want to give everything away, but you want to give enough away to tell your audience this is the kind of story it is by your title, by your synopsis. If they are unaware of what kind of thing is in your story from the title, that could be unintentionally lying to them. Because what if they don't read the synopsis? What if they don't read reviews? What if they just go off? What if they don't even see your cover? They just go off by the title of your story. If it's too vague, you could be unintentionally lying. You do not want to break that trust with your audience. Never, ever, 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 ever do that. Another thing, we don't want long titles. This is not the Victorian era. We are not in the 1800s. We do not need a full sentence. Okay? With like semicolons and subtitles. Okay? At the most, maybe 6 words. Like, a short phrase can be a good title. Like, we don't want to reveal too much. People have short attention spans. Like, I'm not gonna remember a 20-sentence phrase of a book. I'm gonna shorten it, right? So we want something that rolls off the tongue easy, and it is easy to remember. And another reason why we don't like long titles is that it might exceed the word limit. There might be a word limit on titles for where you are going to publish or post that story. Or, if you have physical copies in mind, there might not be room for the cover art. And the cover art is also an important part. We want a good balance of words and art. Okay? These are all the things that I could come up with real quick. And hopefully this helps you with something. Hopefully this helped you with some ideas, or preventing you from making this mistake, because we don't want to make mistakes some mistakes are okay, but sometimes there's a way to prevent yourself from doing that. Anyways, I hope this helped you. This was Writing Tips with Rawr, and I hope you have a nice day. Goodbye!